Did you know the original Zelda only takes up 128 kilobytes of data? For the record, that's about half the size of this video's thumbnail. How the hell did Nintendo manage to entertain kids for like years with such a tiny game? Well, there's two main ways. The first one was by reusing assets. The bushes, they're just rocks but green. These rooms right there, they're the same as these rooms. They just added bats in it and made the water red. I think that's supposed to be lava. But more importantly, the way they got people to keep playing these games for hours was by making them convoluted as shit. Beating this game was not something you were expected to do at all. It was more of an accomplishment, so people would spend hours and hours and hours just stabbing random dudes, pushing rocks, burning trees, hoping something would happen, and that kept them occupied for years. Now, I've always wanted to play this game. The only issue is I'm not a fucking masochist, but luckily for me, we now live in the future and walkthroughs are a thing. That being said, just following some guide would be extremely boring, so to make it more interesting, I'll be using a walkthrough with all of the pictures removed from it, written entirely in Japanese, a language I barely speak. Is this a dumb idea? Perhaps, but I do need to learn this language, and I'm tired of reading about fucking Takeshi and Mary going to a date at McDonald's or some shit, which is so fucked up, because Takeshi just stood her up. He didn't even show up to the McDonald's. He went to Moss Burger instead. McDonald's, Takeshi, not Moss Burger. Those are two very different. You could have just texted her like, hey, I want the Moss Burger. No, you dumb motherfucker. It's McDonald's. The game starts with a pretty simple choice. Would you like to enter a name or enter kill mode? I got a little bit scared, so I just started the game normally. Once the game actually starts, you're dropped in the middle of nowhere, some old man gives you a sword, and that's it. Off you go, figure it out. Now this is the very beginning of the game, so I thought, why don't I try to find stuff by myself? I'm not gonna open up the walkthrough right now. This game is gorgeous. Look at it. Are those snails or bushes? Stop. Stop that. No. Oh my god, dude. They sold this to children. Dude, just sell them drugs instead. What the fuck? This lasted about 3 minutes. Well, let's start by going 1 screen to the right and 4 screens up from the starting screen. Where the fuck am I? I eventually found my way to the first dungeon where I harassed the elderly, found the boomerang, found the bow, slew a dragon, no big deal, and got the first piece of the Triforce. Yay! Ironically enough, so far the dungeon was the easiest part of the game. The overworld felt far more dangerous, so I tried to head for the second dungeon immediately. So if I just go right from the starting point, I just go right. Apparently, there's a dungeon there. So right now I'm at the bottom, so if I just go right, and I just continue going right, I will eventually hit a forest, I believe. That's not a forest. Mori onuketa sakini. Right, Saki. Right after getting out of the forest. It's not at the far end of it. I see. So if I keep going right, but I don't want to exit the forest. Shit, I'm already out of the forest. Now, I don't know what kind of world Nao-san here lives in, but there are no dungeons to the right of the starting area. So I started running around the actual forest looking for it. I found a candle, but no dungeons. So I looked up a different walkthrough. And this one actually had some Euclidean directions in it. Okay, so it's 5 to the right and then 4 up. I think this is 5. Shit, I lost count. I lost count. 5 to the right. Where the fuck am I? 4 to the north. Then 1 more up and then right. Shit. Is that where I was? I don't fucking know. Oh god. Up here. Oh my god. I did it. Now dungeon 2, just like the first one, is pretty straightforward. You get an upgraded boomerang, you die a few times, kill a few fire nuggets, die a few more times, blow up a dinosaur, which is strange. The first dungeon had a giant fire-breathing dragon. And this one, they put a lobotomized dinosaur in the corner of a room. I don't understand, but I'm not complaining. That's Triforce number 2. At this point, I was starting to die a lot. Fuck, man. What the hell? And I felt really weak. Coincidentally, The walkthrough has this big section at the beginning of it that gives you a bunch of things to collect before you do anything else. I do want the white sword. That will help a lot, so let's go get the white sword. A bunch of words here, I'm not sure what this means. Raineru. Oh, there's a Lionel, good. It's south of where I found the lantern. Where the fuck did I find the lantern? This was a problem. The walkthrough describes locations based on the location of the previous item obtained in said walkthrough. But I'm an idiot, and I skipped all of that. So if I want the white sword, I need to know where I found the lantern, but to know where the lantern was, I need to know where the letter is, and to know where the letter is, I need to know where some random fucking rupees are, which are located with coordinates relative to some fucking piece of heart, and I eventually found a cave with a lantern in it, and I decided to see what would happen if I pretended this was the one from the walkthrough. So at the place where you can see the waterfall, go left. Huh? Oh my god, what the fuck is this? What is this? What the fuck is this? Ah! I found the waterfall. There's the Lionel, he's dead. And there's the white sword. On to dungeon number 3, which can't possibly be as hard to find as the second one, right? So one up. And then go left, cross the bridge, and then Boulder Place, if it lives. What the fuck? There's no way Miyamoto's cave explorations as a kid were like this. I must have had a fucked up childhood. Dude, where the fuck am I? Why did they? I swear it said to cross the bridge. Oh my god. Boulder is here. So one here. So two to go 3 up from here. Where am I, man? It's all here. Threes. They all place again. Oh. This dungeon introduces a new enemy, the Dark Nut. Dark Nuts are pretty tough because you can't hit them from the front, you have to get them from the sides. The other thing that makes them pretty difficult is that they come in herds of 76 at a time. I also found a raft in this place as well as the dungeon's map. Whoa! What the heck is going on here? This dungeon's boss is absolutely insane. Well, that was a good run. It throws multiple magical projectiles at you that deal way too much damage, and you have to destroy each of its limbs that are all around it. But every time you destroy one, it gets faster and more dangerous. This felt completely impossible. I couldn't maneuver around everything, much less deal enough damage to... Oh, you can just drop a bomb in the center of it. That's fun. Triforce number 3. Yippee! Before heading for dungeon number 4, I decided to yassify myself with a cute little blue outfit and a magical shield. It technically reduces damage in half, but who gives a shit? Look at him. Dungeon number 4 went surprisingly smoothly. It was very easy to find. The enemies were silly but easy to kill, especially with my cute new little outfit. The only thing about it was that it was kind of confusing in terms of layout. I got lost a bit, but didn't stop me from finding the ladder, which allows you to walk across water, as well as the dungeon's boss, a big two-headed dragon that shoots magical projectiles, blockable by my new shield. I stabbed him in the face, sis plural, and I got the 4th piece of the Triforce. Yahoo! Sky konaseru nana. Yeah, give me the sword. Now I could bore you to death with the story of how I found this sword, but most of it is just me running around like a clueless idiot, trying to figure out what some Japanese man is telling me to do, which is already what 90% of this video has been, so all you need to know is that it's the magical sword and it's the best sword in the game. On top of that, this is the best armor in the game. And this is Dungeon 6. Now the next dungeon I'm supposed to do is Dungeon 5, but while I was searching for the magical sword, I accidentally ran into Dungeon 6. This game lets you do these dungeons out of order, and like I told you, I have the best equipment in the game, so surely I can deal with this one right now, right? Good god. Oh, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this dungeon. What the fuck? Oh my fucking god. Get away from me. What the fuck? Huh? What in the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck? Why? Let's get the fuck out of here. I've always been more of a dungeon 5 type of guy anyway. To reach dungeon number 5, you need to go to the northern part of the map and then head up 4 times on the seemingly infinite looping screen. How the hell is anyone supposed to know that? I'm glad you asked. The dungeon itself isn't too hard, especially compared to 6. It introduces the Pole's voice, an enemy that kinda looks like a rabbit. I'm sure you've heard this trivia a million times by now, but the Famicom, the Japanese version of the NES, came with a little microphone in the controller that you could scream into. This would defeat all of the Pole's voice in the room instantly. Oh, watch this. Ah! Sorry. Yeah, I didn't set mine up correctly. You can still just hit them and they will die eventually. I found the dungeon's boss surprisingly quickly, but he was invincible to everything I would throw at him, so I went back into the dungeon and found the flute thing. Playing it in the boss's room will shrink it down and make it vulnerable to attacks. That's Triforce number 5. Yippee? I don't fucking know. Beating dungeon 5 unfortunately meant I had no choice but to face dungeon 6. So I went running around the map collecting a few rupees to get myself a new magical shield, and on the way I found a croissant, could be useful, as well as an old man running a casino. I'm taking this one. You motherfucker. I'm gonna pick the middle one and at some point it's gonna work. I'm gonna kill you in your sleep. At some point he's gonna give me 50 bucks. It's just statistically every 3 it's always the one on the left. Apparently it's always the one on the left, so I'm gonna pick the one on the left. You know what? See? Easy, just pick the one on the left. Infinite money glitch. This is what Elon Musk did. God damn it. Well, the left point is a pretty lucky spot, so I'm just gonna keep... Oh my god! Oh no. I've developed a gambling addiction. No! No, please, dude, I have to buy a shield. I'm gonna run out of money. I need... If I just get one more 50. If I just get one more 50. No! I don't even have enough money for the shield anymore. I mean, I have to gamble at this point. Now, I'm a reasonable man, so I decided to cut my losses and move on, knowing this would never be a problem again, as I do not have a gambling addiction whatsoever. Alright, I'm out of here. I used what I had left for a new shield. Better not lose this shit again. Then took another shot at dungeon 6. No, my shield! Are you fucking serious? I paid 90 bucks for that! This felt really unfair because I no longer had any money to buy another shield and there's nothing I could have done to avoid that. I still felt pretty confident though, and I thought maybe I can just beat the dungeon anyway. So I moved on ahead. I eventually found a magical rod in there. It does nothing. I got beat up by cheating ass wizards for a few hours, but ultimately I did make it to the boss. Wow, that was hard. And got the 6th piece of the Triforce. Yip yip, hooray, I've ran out of exclamations. Finding dungeon 7 was pretty easy. In the previous dungeon, some old man tells you there's a secret in the fairies' spring. Himitsu ga aru. Something about the fairies? There's a secret in a fairy thing somewhere. Cool, I'm gonna bomb this wall. So you go there, you play the flute, and the way opens up. What isn't as simple is the bokoblin that blocks the way. Turns out you need to buy a piece of meat from halfway across the map and feed it to him. But I'm broke, so once again I went running around the world collecting rupees. There's a tree with a hole in it. A little bit to the right, there's a boulder. Here? Whoa! What the fuck? Now I don't understand what kind of nuclear crack cocaine they had to be on to think anyone could find this on their own. But yeah, if you're looking for rupees, just fucking walk into walls, I guess. I don't fucking know. I have 190. That's all I need. I don't have 190, but you know who would have 190? You know where I can make a quick buck? If you ask any successful person in life, you ask Steve Jobs, you ask Bill Gates, you ask some other rich white guy with no morals, they'll probably tell you that in life you have to take risks. So you know what? We're gonna take risks. And watch this shit. No, listen. It's just sometimes in life, I said you gotta take risks. That's risks plural. I don't have a gambling addiction, I promise. A gambling addict would be making up rules. I'm just going center. Oh! $36 in my wallet. I had 180. I had $180. What kind of game is this? This is not a game, this is a scam. You're scamming the hero of Hyrule. Oh my, just put him in the center. I'm gonna go to the sides. The plus 50 is gonna be in the center. I would rather die than experience this. Why? Like, why though? Why does the 50 just dodge me? It's playing Toho and I'm the bullet. I will literally suck your dick, old man. I'll give you a sloppy behind a Walmart. I don't care. I just want the $50, man. I'm not leaving this fucking room until I get 50 bucks. At this point, I have 36. If I get 50, I can't have less money than I have right now. I genuinely just cannot play. I've been kicked out of the casino for inappropriate conduct. As a reasonable man, I decided to leave the casino out of my own volition as to avoid excessive losses. Now I still need to buy that piece of meat, so I spent the next few hours scouring the map for money and eventually managed to purchase it. Before returning to the dungeon, I decided to take a break and come back to the game a bit later. Wait a gosh dang second. I need to do save state. That scared me a little bit. No. Did I just save over it? Or I just saved over it? Oh. You couldn't really tell because my OBS wasn't recording the right scene, but what happened here is I loaded the game incorrectly and then saved, effectively deleting my save file. Luckily, I did find the save file online that was basically at the same point in the game as I was. My name is now Dominic1, by the way. Thank you, Dominic, whoever you are. We should kiss someday. I went back to Dungeon 7, got a much needed package size upgrade. For my bombs, that is. I fed a goblin, found an upgrade for my candle, killed the boss. You know how it goes. By the way, why is the boss for level 7 the same dragon from level 1? What's going on here? Why did level 6 poison my crops and curse my entire lineage, and then 7 is just the goofy lizards from the tutorial? Anyway, 7th Triforce. Yeehaw. On to level 8. We're getting real close to the end of the game now. The walkthrough said something about following arrows in the forest or some shit, but I looked around and there's none of these. I ended up finding the dungeon under this random bush here. Alright. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't speak Japanese. What am I, a samurai cop?
What does katana mean?
It means Japanese sword.
Level 8 is mostly combat focused and it almost feels like a boss rush kind of level, but it somehow manages to be way easier than level 6. I don't know what the hell happened with that one. You find an upgrade for the magic wand in here, and the colors are real pretty, but outside of that, it's a straightforward dungeon. If anything, this was one of the easier ones. I killed the weird quadruple-headed dragon at the end of the dungeon, and Triforce number 8. I've now reached the end of the game, and all that's left is level 9. Luckily for me, I did run into that one by pure accident a while ago. You guys remember Dungeon 6 and how it treated the Geneva Convention as a list of light suggestions? Well, level 9 views it as a to-do list. It has so many of these shit wizards in it. Obviously I'm dying, I mean, what the fuck? As well as every other terrible enemy in the game. It's got new boss-like enemies that appear in every other room. The dungeon's map looks like a fucking motherboard, and it's generally just such a confusing maze of bullshit. Let's check the walkthrough before I start crying, man. On the verge of tears, I decided to retreat a little bit, go buy some potions, get myself a new shield, and this time I went in reading the walkthrough meticulously for every step of the way. I eventually found the light arrows, endangered the species of wizards, they deserved it, and got to the boss, Ganon himself. With a few well-placed arrows, I reduced him to a bloody mass of flesh from which I pulled out the Triforce. What the fuck? And there I was, after dozens of hours of confusion, 9 agonizing dungeons, bankrupting myself into poverty, and effectively deleting my own reality. I had finally made it and stood side to side with Princess Zelda. She checked me for epilepsy, called me a hero, and referred me to a rehabilitation center for gambling addicts. I'm not sure what she meant by that. She hasn't seen the sun in a while. I don't think she's all there. And the credits rolled. Isukara mo hitotsu no tabi ga hajimarimasu. Start button o oshite kudasai. So from here on, there's a new story that begins. Press the start button, please. Yeah, I'm not doing that.